Conventional wisdom holds that weak and failing states are extremely attractive to transnational terrorists for their operations. They provide safe havens, they provide border crossings that aren't monitored, and they provide areas in which transnational terrorists can plan attacks on the West and on countries in their region. Now that's the conventional wisdom. The closer that I looked at this, I started asking myself, well, if that's the case, why are the vast majority of weak and failing states not actually hosting transnational terrorist groups? And why are these only located in a few countries? And what I discovered was that it's not simply the fact that a country is weak institutionally that would make it congenial for transnational terrorists. It's the fact that the state frequently in those countries has an ambiguous or ambivalent relationship towards transnational terrorist groups, and in some cases is supporting them for its own purposes. A perfect example in this regard is Pakistan. Since 9/11, the United States has tried to make and describe Pakistan as a staunch ally in the global war on terrorism. But in reality, the Pakistani government has been extremely divided internally over how to deal with extremist jihadi groups. So at the same time as it's saying it's cracking down on these groups in some of the tribal areas, it's also cultivating those groups to further its purposes in Kashmir, where it has an ongoing dispute with India, and it's also hedging its bets in anticipation of an eventual U.S. departure from Afghanistan. So here we have, in Pakistan, a woefully internally divided government, one in which the military is not really in civilian control, and in which the intelligence services themselves seem to often have very close links to terrorist groups. The Pakistani example suggests a couple of things. One, you really have to look at the commitment or lack thereof of the government of a weak and failing state to discern whether or not it's really going to be vulnerable to terrorists. And second, if you find that this government is playing a double game, you have to come up with ways to really increase the pressure on that government. And to date, we have been unsuccessful in doing so in Pakistan.